What's up, guys? Year Zero here, and today it's story time. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about growing up in a world of video games. Actually, what I'd like to talk to you today about is growing up, being introduced to games in general, and well, Final Fantasy VII, as you can see here. Today we're gonna play a little bit, and I'm just gonna talk. I always play a little bit, but today we're gonna actually talk for once. So growing up, my family, we weren't exactly what you'd call rich. We were poor for sure, but thankfully my parents were the type of parents that did everything they could to make sure that we were fed, that we were clothed. I never went hungry. I never went without a roof over my head. It was always sacrifice from my parents, and I will thank them. I do thank them every day for that. I mean, not verbally, but I think about it every day. I do. But so when the PlayStation first came out, my Uncle Chris, I was already playing video games for many years, but when the PlayStation first came out, my Uncle Chris, he rented it a couple times from Blockbuster. That's right, renting systems, because that was a thing you could do. Used to be anyway, but he rented it, and most of the time, I mean, the one time I remember being able to play it, we played Resident Evil 2. So that was about the time that the PlayStation came out. We didn't own one. We didn't, because, we were poor. So when my parents finally did get one, I think it was the following Christmas, really, after it came out. Maybe it was 2 years after. Several games had come out for the system, including Final Fantasy VII. Now, having been a kid and not knowing, about the world outside of my apartment, I didn't really hear too much about this game. So, having previously played Final Fantasy VI, or 3 at the time, as I had no idea about the Japanese naming convention for Final Fantasy, because, I didn't know that they were even Japanese games. Anyway, so I was really super excited to see, Final Fantasy VII, a Final Fantasy game in general, just in the box of like a dozen games. I didn't even care about any of the other games that we got. Just that one. This game was the only one that I really cared about. So when we first got it, I waited like the whole day to be able to play Final Fantasy VII, and when I did, I opened it up. The game itself was beautiful. I mean, at the time, it was the best graphics I had ever seen. I think we had a Nintendo 64 at the time as well, or maybe we didn't. I don't remember. This may have been before the Nintendo 64. We got one of those too, but it was beautiful. I mean, the graphics were amazing. It was a game beyond my dreams, having dealt with 16-bit sprites previously, and I was enthralled. I only got to play for 30 minutes. I think I did most of some of this mission, and I had to quit because I had to leave at the time. I couldn't stay too long. So the game itself, it was great. I mean, I had a blast with it. It was everything I could have hoped and dreamed for. But I feel like that is what really cemented my love of RPGs in general, because specifically Japanese RPGs, because if it wasn't for this game, I would not continue playing Japanese games altogether. I would just be probably one of those Call of Duty players. I don't know, maybe. I did have a lot of Japanese RPGs, you know, with the Nintendo Super Nintendo. I had Final Fantasy VI. I had Illusion of Gaia. Was another one that I had. Shadow of Evermore was a fantastic game as well. If you've never played that, I highly recommend it. It's a great story about a boy and his dog. And let's see what else. But yeah, so that's really you know what it was, is that it was this game, and it was, yeah. But anyway, guys, I hope you liked today's content thus far. I want to play a little bit more, maybe get some more chatting out. But yeah, that was pretty much how I wanted to all I really wanted to do. But you know, it's actually funny. I also remember that Christmas that we got the Nintendo 64, and now that I think about it, I think we did have the Nintendo 64 before the PlayStation, and well, I had experienced graphics like this with this Nintendo 64. We had a game called Mace, which was a fighting game, a medieval fighting game. I think we thought it was an action-adventure game initially, because the guy on the cover was just this big, heavy-suited, armored guy, and it was really funny. Turned out to be a fighting game where one of the secret characters was like this janitor dude. This might actually, now that I think about it, I'm not even listening to the audio. I've got it muted. I wonder if it's too loud. Nope. It's still set up my previous. I did reset it previously. And yeah, I've played through this game a dozen times. Played through Final Fantasy VII a dozen times. Beat Emerald and Ruby and all the weapons. Emerald, Ruby, and Diamond, and Omega. I've beat them in my other game that I'm playing right now, that I've just been playing off and on. I'm at the end of the game. I've got everybody gathered right above where you go to fight Sephiroth at the end, and well, I haven't gone to beat Emerald and Ruby in that version yet, because for some reason I am like really high level. I know I'm like Cloud's like level 70, but for some reason everybody's HP's like in the 2000s or something. I think I just have way too much magic materia on them, so just beefing everybody up and doing stuff and all that. Oop, I need to go back there to grab that chest. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, that Christmas we got the Nintendo 64. I remember we had Mario 64, we had Mace, and we had one other game, but I don't... Cruisin' USA, that's what it was. First time I did this scene right here, I spent, like... This is where I spent most of my time playing before I had to leave. No, maybe I didn't get to this point yet, because it took me like 10 minutes to figure out that the button was right here. I'm not even kidding. I was that dumb, and I still kick myself every time. But every time I come in here, I was like, I used to be so dumb. But anyway, but yeah, so we had Cruisin' USA and Mario and Mace. Mario was a lot of fun. Mario 64 was crap tons of fun, because it was it's Mario, and I had a Nintendo 64, Super NES before that. Super Mario Brothers was you know, that was my jam, other than the RPGs, and I loved Super Mario RPG. This is another area that I really got lost in. I didn't know where to go. I didn't see where Jesse went, and I got super distracted and got lost. But anyway, so yeah, so Mario was fun. Mace was a lot of fun. So yeah, there was a janitor's secret character in that game, and a chicken. One of the fighting characters was a chicken, not like a giant man, not a man in a giant chicken suit, but a chicken. Its name was Pollo. Yeah, chicken. It was the most broken character ever. The only other broken character as far as size is concerned that I can think of is Yoda from Soul Calibur 4. But yeah, so I'm cruising USA. Cruising, yeah. Cruising USA. Yeah. Yeah, I like that game. We had a lot of games throughout the years, and it was mostly because of my dad. My dad's also a big gamer. At least I like to think he is. He mostly played computer games. We had a Commodore 64 growing up, and that was a lot of fun, playing old Atari games on the computer with a disc. Yep, hard disk, floppy disk. That was my first experience with video games, was old Commodore 64 games. But other than that, I mean, we had let's see, what else did we get? Yeah, see, I don't even remember. I think Spyro may have been in that dozen or so games that we got with the PlayStation 1. I don't even remember half of the games that we got with that. I just remember that Final Fantasy VII was the only one I cared about. Anyway, I'm getting I'm jumping back and forth. Sorry about that. It's just how I talk. If you know me personally, you know that about me. I have a tendency to jump back and forth in the way that I speak. But what else can I talk about today? No, I think that's gonna be about it. We're reaching the first save point. This is gonna be my Date Barrett save for the Golden Saucer. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. But yeah, pull up my saves right here. And as you can see, I'm level 69 with Cloud, the Northern Crater, using Vincent and Sid. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the video right there, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope you enjoyed my talks. You know, I know last video I wasn't as talkative, but hopefully this one will be a lot more lively. I'm hoping it comes out so anyway, and hopefully you guys enjoy this. But other than that, this is Year Zero signing out. See ya.